Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have our next guest joining us here. Once again, Tristen Sky joining us to talk more about the amazing work he does as a psychic medium, as an empath, as, you have many, many different names, I could tell you. Welcome back, Tristen Sky. How are you today?
Hi there. I'm so good. It's a beautiful day here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you specifically in the world? Tell us.
Well, I'm in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, and I don't know what it is, but just it's very cold. Like even like spring has started, but it's still snowing and everything. But today there's a bit of sunshine coming through, so I was like, yippee, spring is coming.
Well, thank you for being here. And I know we've been on quite a few times before. I gotten to know you personally, but not everybody here. So Tristen, why don't you just start off by telling us a little overview about what you do?
For sure. So my name is Tristen Sky, and I'm a psychic medium. So what I do is I consult with people online through Zoom or in person, and I pass along messages on the other side through my clairvoyance. So my sessions are revolving two specific things. The first one is healing, so helping people heal. Healing is one of the things I'm most passionate about. I'm a huge empath. I feel. So I assist people with healing. And then the other thing is assisting people with igniting awareness or consciousness. So I love to make people wonder and think, like, is there more to life than this? Or, I love to ignite a bit of awareness. So I'm a psychic who consults with people mainly for healing and igniting awareness. And among that, I do a million and other things. Like you said, I teach yoga, I studied astrology, I studied flowers. Like I do a million and one thing, but it all revolves around helping people heal and ignite awareness.
And how do we contact you? Could you share best form, all forms of contact?
So my website, www.tristensky.com, TRISTENSKY. It's where you could read up about me, book a session. You could even send me an email through there. But I'm also on Instagram, Tristen.sky.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Pleasure to have you back here. And for today, this is show number, oh my goodness, is it 3?
4?
Is it? Okay, I'm like, yeah. You know best. You have the ability to tell me. But yeah, because we were, so we missed this show. That's why I'm trying to figure out which notes. So you're for April 4th, technically, it says. Okay, got it.
I was thinking about that because we had to reschedule. Now, Mercury retrograde, which is a full other subject, but that started, and that's usually a time when things are rescheduling and things miss and technology's up in the air. So I just thought of that too. So no wonder we had to reschedule because Mercury's in retrograde. But anyways, the witchy people will understand, but...
All right. Well, I love it. We talked a little about that last time and our signs and our time of birth and all that stuff that you do with astrology. Today, I want to know a little bit about Kything. I want to also know your credentials, if you don't mind sharing with us.
Yes. So Kything. So, So a big part of my healing was connecting with flowers, as simple and childish as that may seem. So flowers, and I'll talk about Kything, but I studied Kything. I became certified in aromatherapy, which is like the study of essential oils. And also I took a lengthy course, things like 300 hours on, so I guess not that long, but long enough, on flower essences, which is studying the vibration of flowers. So basically what Kything is, it's Celtic. It's an ancient mystical Celtic practice where it's kind of like you merge your energy with the energy of an object so you can communicate telepathically with it. So it sounds very hocus pocusy, magical, but that's what I studied for a long time.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. I never knew that. Okay. I want to get deeper into this.
Totally. So I could tell you how I got into it because I feel like that's a good starting point. So, for instance, there was this big rose bush near my house, and whenever I was really sad, back in the day, like 10 years ago, I would go to this rose bush, and, the roses, they're pretty, and they smell nice, so they look pretty, so they all these, really good qualities to it, but I would just, breathe with the flower, and it's almost as if, I would become happier. I would feel my heart warm. It's almost like the flower had magical abilities. It was really cool. So I was like, there's something here. So I had to study it.
Oh, my goodness. And that was 2017?
Probably even, around 2017. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how do we do it though? I mean, like with the flower. So for example, I'm outside today, I see a flower. Do you want to share a little more how we do it and how you could do it? You looks like you said a single rose, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is how I explain it. Okay, so we are energy. Okay, so we all have a megahertz, and this is again scientific. It's not spiritual, it's like science. So I forget the numbers exactly, but a human vibrates at a frequency at around 67 megahertz, I think it is. So 67 megahertz, the vibration of a human. But when we're really happy, we vibrate higher at around maybe 68, 69. That's when we're happy and healthy. But if we're sick or sad or depressed, our vibration lowers, so we vibrate at around 64, 65, if you kind of what I mean. Well, plants and flowers have high vibrations. For instance, the rose, which has like one of the highest vibration of all the plants, I think it's actually the highest vibration, is a rose. It vibrates at 320 megahertz. So it vibrates at like quadruple our energy scientifically. Okay, so all plants have really good energy. Okay, so they all have a vibration. So what I like to say is, if you're just holding a flower, just la da da, oh, it's pretty, but with mindfulness, so it's all about intention and mindfulness. If you hold a flower in your hand and you choose, so with intention, like I choose to connect to its energy, to the whispers of the flower, the sacredness within it, then there's a transference, and then you can actually start to feel the energy of the flower. So that's how I can express it.
Interesting. I was wondering. My dad went to school for horticulture. He's older now, but he used to be obsessed with flowers. Would always talk to his plants, and now I get it. I thought it was crazy, but no, there's something to be said for this. I had no idea they had higher energy than us too.
Yes, they do, and specifically rose. Like I'm a rose. I was gonna say a bad word, but I'm a rose.
Whore.
Yeah.
I read your mind. That's okay. I'm a country music whore. I love country music. We're all whores in certain areas. That's beautifully fine.
Oh my God, I love that you just said that. I love you.
I was sensing it.
Yeah, but you got it. So I love rose so much because it really connects to the heart chakra. So anything from grief, loneliness, or if you're broken up with someone, anything from the heart, if you smell a rose, it's so simple. If you look at the rose or even flower essences, it does amazing things for the energetical body. So along that note, what I wanted to say too is what I often teach in my yoga classes is that I always say we have 4 bodies, okay? Each human has 4 bodies. We know we have the physical body. So that's, the physical body. So I can touch things and I can touch you. And it's like everything from leg cramps or digestion issues. It's like how we connect to the physical world is the physical body. Yeah. But then we also have the emotional body. So that's crying, that's joy, that's happiness, So it's nice to check in with those 2 bodies. Okay, so how do I feel physically? Oh, I feel good, or I feel sore, or whatever. And then how do I feel emotionally? I feel happy, or I feel sad. But then there's also the mental body. So in my head a lot, am I overthinking? Am I scattered? Do I have trouble sleeping? Something of a million things at once. So you have the mental body. And then the 4th one is the spiritual body. So how do I spiritually feel? Do I feel connected to God or the universe or my ancestors or my past loved ones? Or do I feel hopeless or, without fate? Am I skeptical? So when it comes to example, Kything, which is connecting. So it doesn't just have to be flowers. It could be crystals or anything. But for me, a lot of my Kything is with nature, specifically flowers. So you connect on all 4. So it's not just physically holding it. It's also emotionally holding it, mentally and spiritually, if that makes sense. So it's very spiritual. It's a very spiritual practice, I must say, Kything.
Oh, well, I'm learning something new today, and I hope our listeners are too. So this is great. So now you're talking about communicating with flowers, as you mentioned, Mother Rose in particular, right? So your heart chakra is opening up. And let me ask, now for people that are, maybe can't get out in nature, is there products that we could be using that can, I guess, imitate or emulate the rose?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's so fascinating. So along with Kything, I studied flower essences, okay? So yes, if you want to, practice Kything, but you don't live next to a forest or, you don't live next to a flower shop, there's definitely ways you can do this still. First of all, kiting can be done in many ways. You can hug a tree, you can walk barefoot in the earth. You can even kite with water, so you can take a bath or just connect to a lake. But something specific that I also studied is flower essences. Okay, so this is when it's a very sacred practice. It's when there's many different ways of doing it, but for me, it's when you put flowers in water. And water captures the blueprint, the vibration, like I talked about, the megahertz. So it captures the energy, the megahertz of the flowers. So if I put roses in a glass bowl of water, then the water, we can't see it with our eyes, but the water will vibrate at the same frequency as the rose. So the water will start to vibrate at 320 megahertz, okay? It's like all the magical properties of the rose goes into the water. So I would cultivate that water, and you can bottle it up, and you can bathe with it. You can drink it if it's, if it's safe, if you use clean water, or you can spray it around yourself to really feel the benefits of the rose. And you can do this many different flowers, different herbs. You can do this with crystals as well, because crystals also have an energy, a really good megahertz. And that's a great way to incorporate Kything into your life. I, for instance, make my own line of sprays. So I make, like my favorite one has rose in it and rose quartz. So I make a bunch of different products too with flower essences that I sell to my clients. So, but it doesn't have to be mine. Bach is also a really good brand, but you can definitely get flower essences or crystal essences to help support you on your journey.
Got it. Now, also want to remind everyone, Tristen Sky, I'm not even sure we established this off the top, how we contact you. Can you tell us, right?
Yeah.
Website, social media, go for it.
One more time, www.tristensky.com. So even if you're interested in my products, you can check my website and I'll ship it to you with love. And also my Instagram, tristen.sky.
Perfect.
Oh, and Facebook. Also on Facebook too. Very active on Facebook.
All right, all right. Okay, good. So now we're talking about some of this, and I want to hear more about these products, of course. Would you mind sharing, because I know crystals is also something you do, but also healing with plants and flowers? This is awesome. I never heard of this.
Thank you. Well, oh my gosh, it's insane. It really was pivotal in my journey. Like, I am one of those people that, yes, like I stop and I smell every dang flower. I see a wildflower growing and I freak out. I make my friends smell the flower, but a lot of my friends, they kind of awaken to it. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how sacred nature truly is. So yeah, so I make sprays that what I feel called to. For instance, one of my most popular ones, it's for the heart chakra. It's called Hold, and it has rose essence and pine, eucalyptus. It's a bunch of like herbs and flowers that connect to the heart. And yes, they smell good and they're pretty and all these things, but it's really the energy. It's how it makes you feel. And it does wonders. It truly does heal an emotion. Like if you're angry, there's a flower for that. If you're not sleeping well, there's a flower for that. But even crystals. So yes, crystals are ancient rocks and stones in the earth, in Mother Earth. That is so sacred. The earth is what's healing. If we're anxious or whatever, go into nature. So rocks and crystals, same thing. They have an energy and a frequency. And it's like rationally, logically, sometimes that doesn't make sense. We're like, well, it doesn't have an energy. It's just a pretty little stone. But like, this is when I say, get out of your head and truly feel, like hold the crystal and like feel it. Kind of like, let's say you hug someone, like you hug your lover. It's almost like you're choosing to feel them. You're choosing to love them, right? Our heart opens up. But you can do that with nature as well. Hugging a tree, hugging a crystal, you can feel its medicine. You could feel its whispers, Yeah, it's a very introspective, quiet, still spiritual practice. And it takes practice. Like it takes a while to really hear the whispers within nature. But once you do, it's truly transformative. Like, not to sound too dramatic, but like it saves my life. Like there was a time when I was super sad, anxious, and whatever. And just being within nature, just looking at a flower or hugging a tree, like kind of saved my life. I was like, oh my God, there is a magic to life. So yeah, I love me some flowers. Like right now, there's flowers all over my house. Like there's fresh picked flowers right next to my computer and my mic right now. Like flowers are amazing.
Oh my goodness. Well, can I be honest with you? And maybe you can help me through this, but I smell flowers and all I think of is a funeral home. Mostly
Okay.
roses.
Yes.
Since a little, I lost my grandma at the age of 4, and then I went to so many funerals and so even. But yeah, every time I get I don't like flowers anymore. Like people used to send me flowers, when I used to have a dating life, and I'm just like, please save your money, don't bother. My cat used to eat them, so that also was an issue, and now that cat's passed. So I don't know if my new cats eat flowers, but the smell just all reminds me of is death and funerals, which is not a bad thing, but it's not like a smell that I want to have around my house. Could you help me with this?
Absolutely. So you know what? My cousin is the same way. Because every time she comes in my house, there's literally roses and a diffuser, and like it smells like flowers. And she's like, "Oh my God, it smells like a funeral home." So I get it. We're all different. Like I said, we all have different jobs, different purposes in life. For me, Tristan, it's freaking flowers. Let me tell you, a big part of my journey is flowers. But for you, it may not be, and that's okay. There are different types. Like I said, for me, it's flowers, but for you, it could be trees. It could be, the smell of pine or,
I love pine. See,
there
you
you
got
go.
me. You got me. That's my Christmas smell.
I was
Oh,
sensing that from you. So there you go. You can diffuse that. You can go walk in nature. It could be a stone or a crystal.
okay.
We're all different. Like for instance, one of my best friends, she's like, I don't know if this makes sense, but she's like a moth. I'm a butterfly. So she likes, the moth. She likes the trees and moths and mushrooms. I'm like, oh no, I like little pretty flowers and honey and rainbows. So it's like we're all different. We each have our own
Yeah,
thing. So
totally.
yeah, it's totally okay. You don't like flowers. That's
Do you have
totally
a pine spray?
I do. I really do. Yeah, I'll send
Seriously?
it.
This is
I
great.
do. I'll send it to you. Well, that's the thing, because most of my sprays are floral because I'm a floral whore, like I said. But we're all different. Some people connect a lot to citrus. So citrus, like fruits, I also love fruits. They have really good energy, and then we eat them, and then we become that energy. It's amazing. Yeah, we're all different. We each have a different nose, a different purpose. We're all unique and beautiful. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Tristan. So now, how are you supposed to work with it? Like, what are you supposed to do with these sprays, with the crystals? How do these little magic potions work for us?
Right. Okay. So, for instance, I'm a Reiki master. So before getting into my psychic readings, I did a lot of energy healings. That's like when a client lays on the table and kind of like a angelic surgeon, I move energy around. Anyways, I would also use my spray. So like you spray it over your head and it kind of cleanses your energy, your aura. So it's kind of like you breathe it in. It's like I said, it's a frequency, it's an energy. So then the energies of the plants and the crystals merge with your aura, with your energy, and then you feel something, and all the clients, they all feel something. Like if it's like lavender, amethyst, if it's a relaxing one, I spray it over their head, they feel relaxed. Again, the rose one, they feel loved, or they each have a different frequency. So you spray it over yourself, you breathe it in, and then you feel the benefits. It's very subtle. Like it's subtle, it's magical, it's still, it's beautiful. So there's that. Again, bathing in them, like I bathe in flower essences. You could probably bathe in earth essences. You can bathe in the water. You can drink the water depending how it's made, depending if it's drinkable or not. But just incorporating it in your life, it does wonders. It's insane. It's insane. And it makes sense. Like for instance, flowers are so pretty and beautiful. That's like if you merge your energy with it, then you become that. Then you feel pretty, then you feel beautiful, or a tree, then you feel grounded and you feel majestic. It's like you are, what you incorporate in your life. Like you are what you eat. So if you eat bacon all day, you'll look like a pig. I don't know. But if you eat really well and if you do healthy things, and you become that. So yeah, incorporating nature into your life, I think is a game changer.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And we all have to bring a little in each and every time. But what if people say, oh, I'm not into nature? Come on, Tristan, help us out. There's something for everyone, right?
Yes. I mean, I get that too. Like I have some clients that they're like city girls, or they're like, oh, I don't like bugs. I don't like nature. That's okay. Like I said, again, often it's the witchy people, the hypersensitive people, the psychics, the mystics. I feel like we need nature more than the average person. Like we can't, like that's where we retreat, the introspective people. Like we need nature. Okay. But some people may not.
Yeah.
So they just may need to go outside once a year or whatever. They may not need it as much. But one thing I say, it's kind of like going to the gym. You may not want to go to the gym, but you go and you feel better. Or you may not want to eat the salad. You'd rather eat the hamburger and fries, but you eat the salad and you feel better. It's kind of like go into nature, walk barefoot, go to the beach, look at a seashell or look at a flower, like just get your butt there, just do something, and then you'll feel the benefits. Even though if there's bugs or even though you don't like it or the rain or whatever it is, there's a beauty within it. Mother Nature is our healer. Mother Nature is our mother, so there's definitely something there. But again, you could buy one of my sprays. You can do one of my sprays, or you could buy a crystal. You can bring nature to you in other ways as well.
Oh, thank you for that. And guys, if you are just tuning in, we are with Tristen Sky, a professional channeler who's assisting so many with, as we're talking today, with nature and all that can heal with that and his crystals. But also he's a channeler who's assisting people ignite their conscious, as you say. And, let me just, a review saying that Tristen amazed me on many levels. Not only did he pick up on current, past, and future issues without telling me about any of them, he also passed on some valuable advice from the spirit guides. He's doing it in the most gentle way, which allows me to look at and process even challenging subjects. So, yeah, it's great to know this. I also was reading on the site before about your upcoming retreat.
Oh my gosh, yes, and this ties in perfectly. Thank you so much. Forgot I'm doing that. Yes.
I'm glad I saw it.
Yes, I have a retreat in Ontario. July 4th to the 7th, 2024. And it's all about this. It's called Outsider. It's where I teach people, like there's going to be forest bathing, so connecting to nature. There's going to be flower kything, so how to connect your energy to flowers. A lot of yoga, because I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, so there's going to be yoga as well. We're going to be drinking teas and green juice, so it's a very healthy, nature-filled, grounding, loving experience. I am so excited. But that ties in very well to this episode. Completely forgot. Thank you for mentioning. But there are still spots available. There is. So if you want to come retreat with me, you absolutely can. My arms are so wide open. It's going to be a freaking amazing time. I can't wait.
And where is it specifically?
So it's in Berks Falls, Ontario.
Okay.
So it's like near-ish Toronto. If you know where Toronto is, it's near Toronto. Yeah. But very nature. Like Canada has... because you're in New York. So Canada has really nice nature, I'd say. Like, we're huge. So a lot of big lakes and a lot of trees. I adore the nature here. For instance, I lived in Germany for 3 months, right? Like I told you, to study astrology.
Yeah.
And there's no bugs there. And I thought that was so strange. But it's
Really? I'm
like
going to
there's
Google that right now. Why? What?
Because the city, like there's no screens on the door. I don't know if there's screens in New York, but there's no screens on the door.
Oh, gosh, in the summer, you need it. Wow.
Yes, for the bugs, but they didn't have it because there's just no bug. Like there's bugs, but like not as much. Whereas like Canada, which I feel like it's much a newer, it's a newer country than Germany. Like it's newer. There's more space, more greenery. Therefore, more bugs. So there's more. I don't know.
Ready? A study back in 2017 says a shocking 76% decline in flying insects biomass in protected areas in Germany between 89 and 2016. It's like an insect apocalypse. Widespread insect extinctions. What?
Yeah.
Holy cow! Why is this? I never heard of this. I'm sorry, you got me on another tangent here.
That's okay. Well, I experienced it firsthand. I lived there and I was like, there are no bugs. There are no screens. It was weird. And of course, it's kind of fun because bugs are like an annoyance. Like, ugh, bugs. But at the same time, I missed it. I
missed the sound of those crickets and those little summer bugs. I don't know what they are, but they go like squeaky sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. And the butterflies, like I missed nature. So Canada, I feel like is very nature filled, which I like.
Oh my goodness.
So on that note, what I could hint at is that fairies. So fairies are real, which kind of goes along with the energy of flowers. But real quick is that, like I said, flowers, nature have an energy, a really good energy. You feel sad, go hug a tree, go smell a rose. But like with around that, what I came to discover as well, that there's like an energy that lives within nature. It's like invisible to the eye. You can almost like sense it, feel it. And I don't know what it was at the time. And then I found out that it's a fairy, or these people, we call it fairies. So again, hocus pocusy, magic, but I believe in fairies. I believe that there's like a fairyland energy that lives in nature. Although you can't see it, it like exists interdimensionally. It's like small, sparkly, but yeah, I remember when I'm like in deep meditations and like I'm surrounded by flowers and the rivers. I swear to God, I see fairies. So I thought that was really cool.
Awesome. Well, I love speaking with you. Your energy is immense and spot
Aw.
on as always. And if someone wants to reach out for all your other services, I mean, there's so much that you can provide. Do you mind sharing just a quick little rundown of the other things you can help with and, of course, how we can contact you?
For sure. So also, yes, I'm working on a book right now that should be published in the summer about all things magical. So check that out once that comes out. But yes, if you'd like a reading, please come to www.tristensky.com. Like I said, I studied a lot of things. So if you have a question about astrology, flowers, your purpose, connecting to the other side or developing your own psychic gifts, then yes, come and see me. www.tristensky.com. My arms are open to see you.
Aw, with arms wide open. That's a Creed song, and I can't sing, but you always bring me to songs sometimes. Thank you so much, Tristen Sky. Pleasure having you here, and we'll talk again next week, okay? Have a great weekend.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. To all of our listeners, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
I used to always feel overwhelmed by the negative energy I could feel from others. It wasn't until I did some deep healing that I discovered that my hypersensitivity is a gift. Hi, my name is Tristen Sky, and I'm a professional psychic medium. Not only am I sensitive to the energy of others, but I'm also sensitive to the energy on the other side. Book an online private reading with me at www.tristensky.com. Namaste.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.